Ladies and gentlemen, I think I better let it go. Tell him, Teddy, what you say? Well, that's what it looks like. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, uh, we're going to have a conversation. Today I haven't been feeling very well. And it's not nothing I ate. Somebody suggested high blood pressure. It ain't that. It is the muscular dystrophy. I didn't realize it until later in the afternoon because of where it's originating, and it is originating in my neck. It's a pain in the neck! And because of that, I just have to deal with it. Now, I am on alert, not high alert. I am going to go get some rest because that's what I need to do. Now, I want to talk to my consultation people, those who've had consults with me, because I need to let you all know that the document that was put together today, that was primarily for y'all. Okay? Hold on now. This is our document. This ain't y'all's. This is y'all's. Okay? Y'all can add whatever you want to the document. I wouldn't suggest adding a lot of junk because it says what it needs to say, but it's completely editable. And you see how, well, let's do this. Let's undo that. And I'm going to remove subject line. I'm going to change it to misrepresentations. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go to edit code. And we're going to go down to the misrepresentation section. I don't know exactly where it was, so we're going to have to find it. Misrepresentation. See, all the other stuff is gone. It actually edits the code in real time. Now, I did that for some people who needs that. You know what I was saying? Because there's some people who needs to have a code that's completely editable. This is ours, so I just shut y'all's down because y'all didn't need to see that. But anyway, that's for all of you who, these idiot attorneys. What you don't understand, and I guarantee this, that the attorneys don't represent these banks they're going into court saying they represent. There is this thing called a courtesy. Courtesy. The courts extend a courtesy to the attorneys that they don't have to show proof of representation. But if you claim that you were representing somebody or this or that, they would make you show proof. Okay, you don't have to consent to the courtesy. That's the first thing. The second thing is, there's a time when a person like me is doing too much, trying to do too much, trying to help too many people. I'm burning the candles at both ends and in the middle! And because of that, I need to slow down. Now, hold on. That means y'all gonna be missing out. Because that means a lot of information. Now, I just stopped TikTok. No more TikTok videos. Now, it didn't have nothing to do with this. I just don't like TikTok. I just need to be honest. I don't like TikTok. There is so much false information on TikTok that I don't want to be associated with that junk. Y'all know me. I prove everything I talk about. I even make ChatGPT prove everything before I give it to you. Why? Because I've always believed in 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Say, what's 1 Thessalonians 5:17? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Do I have the Watchtower on here? I did put it on here. Where you at, Watchtower? Uh-oh. I don't have it on this computer. It's on the other computer. I just redid this one. WATCH. Uh-oh. Get that out of there. Watch and awake. Okay, that's mine. Okay, that's not the one I need. Let's see. WATCHTOWER. Okay, so it's not here. Okay? It's not here. It's just the files. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it's just the files. So it ain't here. Sorry. So we're going to have to take y'all to the 1 Thessalonians 5:21 up here. First, THESS 5:21. And prove all things, hold fast to that which is good. This version, the NIV version, but test them all. Hold on to that what is good. Test all things, but hold on to that which is, pay attention, but test all things, prove all things. Prove all things. Hold fast to that which is good. Okay, I've always believed in that. You can't just walk up to me and tell me something and think I'm gonna walk away going, no, that sounds like that's right. Please, you either gonna prove it to me or you gonna shut up. It's literally, I don't take nobody's word for nothing. I never have. This is one of my favorites. This is my first Bible study conductor had me learn this one. It's a short scripture, but he had me learn it because he understood my personality. Oh no, y'all gonna prove it to me. And so that's why me and Telegram, we're not gonna get along. I'm not Telegram as well. But I can pick and choose Telegram. There's a lot of fraud on Telegram, so be careful. A lot of it. And they sponsor it. So DeVos or whatever that idiot's name is, I don't feel sorry for him. Because he knows about it. And if he's not making money off of it, then something's wrong. So, the enemy you know. So I'm going to stick with YouTube for the time being because they don't bother me. YouTube doesn't bother me. They don't interfere with my videos anymore. You know, they might do something every once in a while because they want me to make sure. They want me to make sure that they're there. Okay, but are they the best? No. Google is a piece of junk. Alphabet is a piece of junk. And YouTube.com is a piece of junk. But I was with YouTube before Google bought it. You feel me? That's what I thought. Okay, so let's get back to the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is necessary, and I'm going to explain this, and y'all take it for what you take it for. I'm not gonna ask for your understanding because your understanding is not a prerequisite. I knew since 2001 that I was going to end up in someone's jail at least 3 times before all was said and done, and one final time is going to be the shortest of all the times, but it's still going to be the most violent, but that's the one that's coming. I known this in advance. I told it to people. I wrote it down. You don't believe me? Let me show you something. Hold on. When I said I wasn't going to show that to y'all because y'all didn't deserve to see that one. I got to look for it now. Hold on. WATCHTOW. And we're going to go right here. And then you see that? The choosing. It's supposed to be a time to stay awake. Now, I'm not, this is this computer. I've uploaded it to this computer. Let me get rid of that. We get rid of that, and we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to get rid of that album stuff because we don't need that junk. We can go size, and we can go date modified. See, that's 1.4 gigabytes worth of audio. Date modified. 2018, yeah, it was done a long time before 2018, but that's because, oh, no, that's right, 2018 2018 is how I decided to put it on tape, because I had it on paper, and you know how paper fades and all of that, so I wanted to put it on tape, so that's what I did. So 2018 is correct, but since 2001, I had wrote that down. Why? Because I need proof for everything. Sorry. Faith ain't about just hoping and expecting something. I knew these things were going to happen, but I needed to be able to reflect back on it because I didn't want to forget understanding this stuff from the very beginning. So I wrote down everything I came to understand. And as I tell people, it was March 9th, 2001. And I call it an understanding because literally I just understood it. I call it an understanding because a second ago I didn't know it, wasn't even thinking about it, but a second later, man, I understand that. It's as if I've always known it. Can't explain it to you. I can only tell you it was called the choosing. That's my title to it. Okay? Other people have other words for it, but let me just say that since then I knew what my future was going to be. I knew what I was going to go through. And that's why you don't hear me complaining. Oh, you complain all the time. I always hear you. Shut up. You better leave me alone. Now go on and play now, because I told you I ain't feeling all right today. Sorry about that. It's summertime, okay? Anywho, in a nutshell, let me see if I can explain it this way. The pandemic, you can talk about it now because it's over. There's no censorship on talking about that junk now. But if you thought it was nature or some Wuhan laboratory, you go right on ahead and you keep thinking that. It's just like the Epstein case. All of a sudden, we campaigning on it. Now we want to get rid of it. That thing don't exist. If you believe that that man hung himself in a hang-proof cell, you guys don't understand how jails are built. So let me explain to you how jails are built. Jails are built by psychologists and psychiatrists. You don't understand that, huh? They are the architects. Why? Because of cruel and unusual punishment. You see, jail has a psychological effect. Men are not meant to be caged. Pay attention. Men are not meant to be caged. So they have to do it in such an environment. That's why the ceilings are so high. The ceilings are not so high so that they can't escape. The ceilings are so high so that they don't get claustrophobic. He was in a detention center, Mr. Epstein. And you saw there was a camera in that area because he was in protective custody. In protective custody, people tend to not be able to handle the isolation. 23 hours in the cell, 1 hour out. They can't handle that. Why? Because they put me in protective custody and in isolation every single time. Why? I don't know. They call me a threat to the administration. But most people don't understand that isolation is protective stupid custody. You are treated the same. I've been to SMU Supermax Unit 1 and 2. That's what they do to me. They think they're hurting me. Oh, you hurt my pride. They're not hurting me. I don't complain. I don't even try to get out. Why? As long as I have my Bible, and as long as I have the ability of creating a schedule, I literally create a schedule. I map out my entire day, the same as I do now. You're nothing without a schedule, people. You must have a schedule. If you want to live life, you have to have a schedule. Just like I just took my shower, I'm getting ready to go eat because I got my food on the stove. I'm making some fajitas. Well, they're going to be burritos, and the fajitas are plant-based meat. I just got it the other day because I hadn't been doing it. I've been no meat, period. Every once in a while I'd have a plant-based meal, but I said, let me go get me some plant-based meat so that I can at least feel like I'm part of the group. Anywho, that's what I'll be eating. But back to the Epstein thing. They put him in a cell with somebody they knew would take his life. And but hold on now. He wasn't supposed to be in a cell with that guy. But that's okay. there's something called classification. Anybody who's ever been to jail know that you have to go through classification before they even put you in a cell. They ask you about enemies and all of that stuff. That guy was a former police officer or something. And they put somebody accused of the junk he was accused of in the cell with that guy. And nobody understood that that's not allowed. That's a violation of their policies. Sorry. But then all of a sudden, we're going to release everything. But there were already pictures floating around of them putting their arm around each other. We're going to release everything, and everybody believed that. My grandmama knew they weren't going to release that junk. You talk about sleight of hand. That was a distraction. It's a distraction now. That's all it is. That's why the first thing the orange man did is he became a snitch. What about Clinton? What about Obama? He started telling on everybody. Lord have mercy. Yeah, I said it. This is this world. Like a little child. What about him? And what about her? She blah, 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 blah. That's what he's doing. Because he's been boxed into a corner. And the fact is, they're not going to let go of it because it's the top story. I don't care. But they're going to make you all care about it. How many of you talked about that junk in the past week? Because it's a distraction, people. Do you think they didn't release those files all of a sudden? They decided they weren't going to do it? They had decided that from the very beginning, the moment they said they were going to release it. Okay, the moment she said, I have those on my desk, she said those words on purpose. This was all a setup. This was all distraction. You see, they're putting judges on the bench now. He's stacking the bench. Congress is passing these idiot appointments and putting these judges on the bench so that they can control the bench. You don't believe me? Go take a look at what's going on in Congress right now while all of this junk is going on and nobody's paying attention. Just got several of his nominees appointed in the last couple of days. It's a distraction, but I'm not here to talk about that. I mean, I gotta go and watch some television. Now, I will tell y'all, there's a TV series called Foundation. It's Apple TV and Foundation. The first 2 seasons were alright, but this season now, they literally, in my opinion, decided to amp that show up. They must have changed some of the writers. They had to have, because this is a complete, man, this is what y'all should have been doing with the show in the first place. So I'm kind of proud of it. I know it ain't gonna stay that way. I know they gonna throw that woke stuff in it and all of that junk, but for right now, it's alright. Alright, back to my story. In 2004, 2001, I knew I was going to be moving to the East Coast. And I told that to my best friend at the time. And nobody was happy. Nobody wanted me to leave. They literally, I don't like that, but to have grown men crying, I had to tell them, it happens all the time. I don't know why. I'm not going nowhere. I'm just going to be in another state. You'll be able to talk to me. You'll have a phone. Call me. These were friends. These were individuals who I spent a lot of time around, and they were able to talk to me about whatever without any beat. Most of them didn't have nobody else to talk to, so they had me. And I'm like, you got my number. We're not around each other every day anyway. What's wrong? They just could not correlate me being in a different state. Every time I get up and leave and go someplace else, people talk about how jealous they are that I get to do that because they have a ball and chain and other little chains and other little trinkets attached to them that they can't leave. And I tell them, this is not the life I wanted. This is the life I have. And I just get bored and I just move where I choose. Like right here, I don't want to be here. I'm here. Well, we ain't gonna talk about that. I'm here to eventually meet the young lady I'm supposed to marry, and we are aware of each other. She ain't none of y'all. She doesn't watch my videos, okay? Lord, there are a couple of things that has to happen before I can meet this young lady. She's in this county, and let's just say I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I have full faith in what I'm saying because I've seen it already. Just like I wrote down one of the jails I would be in, the walls would be white and the doors would be blue. Well, if you guys understood, most prisons, the walls are gray or the doors are gray. This one, every place else in the prison, the walls were white and the doors were gray, except for this section that they built especially for lockdown. I saw the trap doors on the cell doors, so I knew it was lockdown, so I knew I would be in a lockdown situation again. But I didn't know that that prison would be on lockdown status well before COVID for a year and a half, because one of the lieutenants decided to mouth off at a gang member who had a little bit of pull. So his buddies came by and lit him up one day after he got off work, chased him for over a mile shooting at his car, and he ended up crashing into a gas station. So they ended up locking the prison down for a year and a half. Blue doors, trap on the door. So I don't need nobody, telling me this or that. When I was told that I'd be moving to the East Coast, I ended up telling my best friend at the time, I said, I'm going to end up having a farm. Told him, I don't know nothing about running a farm. I'm South Central Los Angeles. I grew up in the projects. I don't know nothing about no stupid farm. And I couldn't see myself owning a farm. I got ducks and chickens and dogs. And in New Mexico, I had llamas, sheep, a Panamanian mountain dog, and llamas, sheep, Panamanian dog, and of course my Alaskan Eskimo, Freedom. And what else did I have? I know I had one other animal, and I can't think of the other animal I had in New Mexico. But I had 3 acres of land, the same as I have now. And I had all of those animals, and I was getting up like I did today, watering the animals and feeding the animals. Yay, I got a mini farm. But that was for the East Coast. I knew that once I went to the East Coast, I'd end up having a farm. I had it in New Mexico. Then when I left New Mexico, I have another one now. Yay, happy, happy, joy, joy. How could I have known? How could I have known when I went to North Carolina that I would meet 45 people in a particular situation all in the same place, even though I knew it in advance? And sure enough, the 45th person confirmed. So when I tell you, I know what my eventuality is going to be. And hold on, if certain events have happened that changes that, I'm okay with that. But for right now, y'all ain't got to worry. Ain't no need in worrying what tomorrow's gonna bring, 'cause it'll be all over in the morning. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I don't have any concerns. Okay, my job is to do my part. My job is not to let you do my part. I am not doing this to get you all's opinions. That's why there are no comments on none of my videos. I turn them off. You got comments up and I'm shh. Don't say that out loud. What you doing? I'm sorry. That's why the comments are turned off on my videos. Shut up. I apologize. Lord have mercy. So, we're not looking to get comments. I'm just advising certain people because, as I told you, there are people out there who literally, honestly worry about me. Okay? People who watch my videos whom I have known for quite some time, who worry about me, who, in their own little ignorance, don't call anymore. Why? because they are thinking they're going to interrupt me or bug me or bother me, or that I'm too busy and all that, and I can't stand that. You see, the problem is I haven't changed, but the people who were my friends, they've all changed. They're not the same person. Things are different, and I kind of get what they're saying, but the problem is I haven't changed. I refuse to change. They, on the other hand, have changed. And it makes me think, were they being that way when they were around me? Were they showing me that courtesy? Because everybody knows you can't curse around me. I give you a couple of warnings, and after that, I cut you off. I don't joke about that. Everybody who knows me knows that. Most of the people who are around me, without even knowing me, they hear the way I talk, and they apologize for cursing. And I appreciate that, but I let them know. I'm actually glad you said that, because I would have said something. Yeah, I'm sorry. No problem. Just that I can't be around that. So, in 2013, I was made aware that there was going to be a pandemic, not an epidemic, but a pandemic. I do know that I wasn't supposed to tell anybody. I was allowed to tell my family members and my best friend, but I wasn't supposed to tell anybody. And in 2017, I did a video. I told people on video. And I told people I was going to get in a lot of trouble. Well, 2018, they came after me. Took me out of the way while they had their pandemic. You know what I mean. Anyway, and what I can tell you for a certainty is that was just a trial run. That's not what I saw. What I saw was individuals piling bodies up on street corners. What I saw was people having to leave their homes because that stuff, whatever it was, had gotten into fabrics and walls. What I saw was cars abandoned on freeways and abandoned in streets that most of the streets were impassable. That's what I saw. What I saw was there was no sanitation. There were no services. What I saw was horrific. What I saw was millions of people dying. That's what I saw. I knew that everybody, pay attention, were going to be bumping elbows and not shaking hands. So what did I do? In 2016, I stopped shaking hands. And lo and behold, I even wrote down how everybody was bumping elbows. And then we have it in 2020 and 2021. People are not shaking hands, but they're bumping elbows and dapping. How could I have known? There was no way in the world. There was nothing. Well, we all knew we were going to have it. Whatever. It doesn't matter what we all knew. How could I have known those details? But like I said, what's getting ready to come, and it is coming, I do know, and y'all can misquote me if you want, but I do know something changed in our atmosphere today, especially here in California. I could tell it. I could sense it. I went outside this morning. I didn't do anything but put a piece on my vehicle. Just put a piece on. And then I had to restructure it. And it took 5 minutes. Then I get up and I walk back. And as I'm walking back to the front of the house, I'm out of breath. And I come inside and it's time for me to do a meeting. It's 9 o'clock and I went out there at 57 after. It's 9:01. It took me 4 minutes. And I'm out of breath and I'm not rushing. But I'll tell you one thing. I said to myself, wait a minute. This is first thing in the morning. What am I doing out of breath? I literally said that out loud. Because that's unusual. Usually if I'm out of breath, it's during the middle of the day. When it's hot outside and the air is thicker. But first thing in the morning, I don't have that problem. But I did this morning. And right after that meeting, I do 2 videos and I tell everybody how tired I was. And I felt tired, but I shouldn't have been tired. I had enough sleep last night. Yeah, fine. I went to sleep at 10, woke up at 3. Okay, that's fine for me. I've done that many times before. Oh, Mama, it's going to be a bad one. Look at it. It's just getting bigger and bigger. Oh, it's got buddies. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I know something has changed. I don't know what it is, but I do know that the weather, definitely there is a problem. And I did look at the weather forecast. What his name? Paul Calderon, or I forgot what the young man's name is. He does weather on YouTube, and he does a pretty good job. I give him a lot of credit because he's very thorough. And I watched him, and he talked about the weather systems and the jet stream and all of that, and the El Nino that we're supposed to be experiencing. And let's just say even he talked about how strange the weather was and how there have been no major storms in the Atlantic so far, which is unusual, and I agree. But, that's neither here nor there. So, I tell you all that because people are concerned, and I don't want them to be concerned. I will be all right. Now, this is to let you know how bad things got today, because this was a feeling I hadn't experienced before. I had to ask Jehovah for his help. Now, if you don't understand, I don't go to Jehovah about my health unless it's a last resort. Normally, I'll just deal with the pain, deal with whatever the situation is. I've only gone to him about my health a couple of times when I was on the operating table, and something's wrong. What do you mean something's wrong? He's awake. What do you mean he's awake? His eyes are moving. He's awake. Oh. Then I said, oh, Jehovah, help me. Other than that, I wouldn't have gone to him in that situation. But I knew, especially because of the way I felt, that I wasn't waking up. I knew that. I'll say it to this day. I knew that I wasn't going to wake up. I will also tell you on March 9th, 2001, when I was getting ready to lay my head on that bed, literally jumped in the bed and was getting ready to go to sleep because I was exhausted. I had been up, 48 hours straight? A little bit over 48 hours. And I was exhausted. And it was time. I had a couple of hours of sleep that afternoon. I think it was about 2.5 hours of sleep that afternoon, but I was tired. I was exhausted. And before my head hit the pillow, I felt like I felt on an operating table, and something said, if you go yourself to sleep, you ain't waking up. And so before my head could even hit the pillow, I was back up. Okay? Like I said, it's only happened once. And I went to Jehovah at that moment because I knew something wasn't right. I ain't going to tell you what happened, and you just got to follow the story that's being told. So, in a nutshell, so that you guys could understand, I'm all right. Everything's going to be all right. Got to go talk to Naughty by Nature and Tretch about that. Okay? Something about somebody's property or something. Anyway, and he's got my back. You see, I'm thinking, when was the other time I went to him about my health? Other than the fact of the pain I was in from the blood clots in my liver and the blood clots in my kidney. You have not experienced pain until you've experienced blood clots in your liver and your kidney. It has nothing to do with kidney stones. Kidney stones, that pain, and some of y'all have experienced that pain. Y'all ain't experienced nothing. Blood clots, a whole bumper clot, anyway, is a whole lot different. And I had to go through that for weeks without pain medication. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They gave me pain medication. What was I thinking? Yep, they gave me 1 pill a day. Not twice a day, not 3 times a day. No, 1 pill a day. Want to know what that pill was? Children's Tylenol. 1 tablet of children's Tylenol, 250 milligrams. That's what they gave me for pain in the hospital. So I had to go to him for his assistance because that was torture. Okay, but I don't normally go to him unless it's absolutely positively necessary. Other than that, he and I, we have our conversations, but it ain't about my health because I don't put myself first in that instance, in that sense. I'll deal with it because there are other people going through a whole lot more than me. A whole lot more than me. So who am I to cry? Argentina? Huh? Oh, Mariah? No. Who? Madonna? No. Oh, yeah, that was my... Uh-huh. Oh, really? Okay. Evita? Anyway, don't cry for me, Argentina. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, to make this story, which has already been too long, shorter, many of you all have your beliefs, but yet your beliefs won't help you. Right now in our world, Israel has been causing a lot of problems. And yet Netanyahu knows that he's a scapegoat now. That's why he can't get what he wants, but they have something over his head. What is that? Criminal charges. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't do what we say and we'll put you in jail. And then now we'll let all of those other inmates come after you. Yeah, that's, you talk about protective custody. That's where he's going to be. Okay, so they have something over that idiot's head. That's why he keeps saying idiotic things. We have all of these so-called political officials all saying stupid things. All saying things that, if you fact check it, it's a lie. Why is that? So that you all can be distracted by everything that they say. So that while they're saying that stuff over here, they're doing something else over there. Start looking for the yellow balloon. Okay? There is a man holding a yellow balloon, and he's walking around, and he's got his pocketer, picking your pockets. Okay? They just walking around picking your pockets, and y'all letting them. Stop getting distracted by these idiots. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end this with my girl. I want to play a particular song by her. I'm trying to look for it. It should be here, and there it is. And while me and my girl... Oh, no, I don't want to play that. Where is my song? Thank you. Okay. I keep touching the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my girl, and she is going to take us on out of here. So I just want to let you know that everything's going to be all right. Living in a cold, cold world. You feel like you can't make it out. I'm sorry, I heard this song. I found her because I was on, I think it was YouTube, and I was just picking songs, and I heard this song, and she did this right here. I don't know. No. If you ain't never heard a prayer from me. The song is by a young lady named Leela James, and it's called Prayer. I didn't know it was called Prayer when I first heard it. But when I heard that song, man, this song is on hit. And I'm just sitting up there blasting that song on my radio. I don't care what her title was. It was That Woman Can Sing. And I've been riding with Leela. Thank you, Leela. So I've been riding with Leela the whole time, and I'm hoping that she continues to do well. Now, thank y'all for taking the time. Literally, I haven't been able to do any work on the computer. I haven't been feeling well, but taking this time to do this talking, I don't feel bad. I got, matter of fact, let me turn that off. I have the cooler on and the fan going, And let's just say I don't need it on. I'm doing all right. Now look, I was gonna let y'all go. Leela, tell them, okay, because they need to hear it. Take a moment, y'all, and we gonna speak to y'all later. Now wait, hold on. This is where she goes. Tell them, Leela. Woo! Tell them, girl. Have you never, never, never? I tried all her tribulations. Stand beside her, and she just want to thank. She want to thank. Oh, Lord! All right, y'all have a good day. Goodbye.